Black Ops 7 introduces a new level to Omni movement in Call of Duty with the wall jump. So today we're going to go over movement basics, how to wall jump, and all the right settings, perks, and attachments that you need to have the best movement in Black Ops 7. And before we get in game, let's actually talk about the settings. So if we go over here to controller and then scroll down to the movement tab, we're going to go over all these, and you want to make sure that you match these so you have the optimal settings to move around in Black Ops 7. So the sprint assist, we're going to keep this on. I don't really change too many of these, but you want to make sure you have the sprint assist sideways and backwards on as well so you can utilize Omni movement. For the rest of these settings, I turn most of these off, including wall jump assist. You want to make sure that you have wall jump assist off because you don't want to be accidentally doing any wall jumps. You want to make sure that the ones that you do are tactical and have meaning behind them. Going up further to slide and dive behavior, you want to make sure that you are either on slide only or hybrid, and I'll show you why. With the slide only and hybrid, you're allowed to hold down your circle button and then you can go all the way to prone. Slide, hold down circle, and you'll be all the way prone. This is a great mechanic to know mid gunfight, especially going backwards, because the hitboxes when you're laying down on your back are super weird in this game. So that's a great way to reposition mid gunfight. The problem is if you use tap to slide, you can't do that movement just by holding down circle because you'll dive. Not only that, but when you do slide, there's a delay that you don't get when you do slide only or hybrid. If you don't want to play hybrid and you don't want to dive, you can still do that movement mechanic while on slide only. So keep that in mind too. But for me, just personal preference, I've been used to hybrid. Diving isn't incredibly important in this game, so it's really not a must to learn hybrid if you don't want to, but it's kind of useful in certain situations to like dive out of the way. Continuing in the controller settings, we're going to scroll down under the controller setting to dead zone input, and you want to make sure that your left stick max is down to 70. While not necessarily a movement setting, this is still a good one to get used to while practicing movement, just because it's beneficial for your rotational aim assist when you're strafing mid gunfight. The rest of these settings are also equally as important as well if you want to follow these dead zones, but the other ones are more so for aiming. The left stick max at 70 is the important one for movement. And now with those important settings out of the way, we need to talk perks. The dexterity is really the main important one that we'll need, because right now you need it to ADS while sliding and diving. Fingers crossed that they change this soon. I'm really hoping that they do, because the tac stance just feels really awkward. But put on dexterity, and then the attachments you're going to want to get used to, like the Hawker hybrid muzzle is great because it helps with like slide to fire speed and dive to fire speed and any other attachments that you can use to improve your mobility. And now with the right settings, perks, and attachments out of the way, we can talk specific movement mechanics. And speaking of movement, we all hate spending a bunch of money on a brand new controller just to get stick drift. Until now, SCUF just released TMR sticks for the Valor Pro wireless. In case you didn't know, they're as precise as analog sticks while also having the stick drift resistance that Hall effect sticks have. And of course also features the 4 back paddles and the 2 scroll wheels on the very front. It has a 1000 hertz polling rate on PC and both wired and wireless compatibility for the PC as well. The Valor Pro wireless starts at $189.99. Use the link in the description as well as code LunchTime if you check it out. And honestly, I do love the feel of the TMR6. This is my first time ever experiencing TMR and it's awesome. And I cannot wait for these to be brought to the PS5 SCUF Reflex. Shout out SCUF for sponsoring, and let's get back to the video. And Black Ops 7 features the same Omni movement that we've seen in BO6, just with the addition of the wall jump, which like I said, we'll get into later. But first, let's quickly go over slides, slide cancels, some dives, and then we'll get to wall jumping. So first, starting with the very basics, the slide cancel in this game is simple. All you have to do is you're sprinting forward, you press slide, and then you press your jump button. Slide, and then the jump button. Eventually, you'll want to pair this with an ADS as well. Here in the training course, I don't have dexterity, so I'm going to go into this tac stance, or the tac stance spread like you see here. But in game, like I said, once you have dexterity, it'll look a lot cleaner and you'll be able to fully ADS while you're doing the slide cancels. But while you're doing them, it's simply slide and jump. Slide and jump. You can slide aim jump, slide jump aim, like really however you feel like using the slide cancel. This is definitely the first initial movement that you want to get used to going to Black Ops 7 before you advance it even further with like the slide to prone or later on with the wall jumps. Like I said earlier, the slide to prone is a fantastic movement mechanic to use. Let's say you're challenging somebody and you get caught in this corner, you can do a backward slide and hold down circle. The easiest way to do that, like I said, is either the slide only or the hybrid setting. This is the easiest movement mechanic to do too. All that you have to do is hold down your circle button. You can do this sideways like so. Backwards one is, like I said, one of the most beneficial ones when you're mid gunfight because nobody expects you to re-chow while laying on your back. And like I said, that one is super easy with all the right settings. You simply hold down circle. The dive I'll just quickly go over on hybrid. All that you have to do is hold down your left stick and then press circle to dive. Not super important in this game, and honestly it's kind of clunky with like the Omni movement feel, so it's not very beneficial. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's one of the more important ones to use. Real quick as well, we're going to talk snaking or the one pump. The snaking is more so a cheesy movement mechanic to do, but it works really well, and the one pump is something that's actually allowed in like the pro league and is great for getting a camera over a head glitch to challenge somebody. So all that you have to do is you hold down your circle button, and the second that you see the left hand move, that's when you want to click down your left stick to sprint forward. So the second that that left hand leaves, that's when I'm pressing the left stick to sprint forward, and that puts you in this snaking mechanic right here. If you don't want to overdo it or be like cheesy, you can go to a head glitch and do it just once. So just a singular snake, we call this like a one pump, and it's a very easy way to give yourself the advantage when you're challenging a head glitch. And the last one that I want to go over before wall jumping is going to be the jump slide. So it's going to look really weird right now because, like I said, I don't have dexterity, but jump sliding, especially with dexterity, is huge, especially when you're like traversing longer areas. You can really jump out and challenge lanes like so, and that one's very easy to do. All you have to do is jump, and then while you're in midair, you press or hold your circle button. And now with all of those done, let's talk the wall jump. So the wall jump can be used a maximum of 3 times, and the wall jumps get progressively less high the more jumps that you do in a row out of the 3. You can wall jump by hitting the side of the wall from the right side or the left. You can also wall jump by facing the wall head on. You cannot wall jump backwards. Another thing to keep in mind as well is that the direction of your wall jump is not based off of your momentum going into the wall jump. So you can actually jump, turn around, and then wall jump the other direction. You're not locked into wall jumping forward simply because that's the way that you're going beforehand. The wall jump is, like I said, only based off of where you're facing when you actually press the wall jump button. So this is huge to know. If you see them open the door at the last second, like I said, you can turn around and hit a wall jump facing them. You can't wall jump everything. These are kind of awkward as well because if you're spamming X, you're likely going to mantle. But if you want to wall jump a lower surface like this, start your jump early and then hit the wall jump kind of while you're falling or descending. And it'll help to do this while sideways as well, because if you do it while facing it, you're just going to mantle. So one thing to prioritize if you're trying to do a lower wall jump is to start the jump beforehand and then make sure that you're not facing a surface that can be mantled on accident. And so this is what that would look like here. The forward wall jump is something that's important to know on like a windowsill like this. You just need to face forward, spam your X button, and then you'll jump up. If you do it sideways, you're going to be knocked a little bit too far backwards to hit the mantle. You can still do it sometimes. The easiest way to do a jump like that is just to strictly face the window. Same thing here. Although there's a little bit of a curve to the wall, which you can use to like short mantle the window. Same thing on this side as well. But if you wanted to just straight up jump or even challenge it, you don't even need to do the mantle. You can just jump up, do the wall jump, and then challenge the top window. There's a spot here that Shotzi found during COD Next that's kind of cheese, but you can just spam wall jump on a place like here, and that allows you to get a crazy angle. There's like endless possibilities with this wall jumping, and it's not strictly just mid gunfight that it's useful. Like something like this, you could easily watch the mid flank. The most likely use is probably going to be for repositioning. The amount of finesse with these wall jumps is actually about to be insane. The smaller wall jumps that we were talking about earlier, a great way to use these would be to continue challenging like the front of P1. You just, again, want to make sure that you start your jump early so that you don't accidentally mantle it. Doing something like this is a great way to catch your opponents off guard, and when you're holding like a P1 or something, it'd be a very interesting way to challenge the front of hill. And if you catch the right timing, you can even use the sides of these to get up to the top window, although it does end up being kind of weird. That's what it would look like there. It's a little bit more consistent when the platform's going away from you rather than towards you, but definitely something to keep in mind when trying to challenge these top windows. And now it's great to think of wall jumps reactively. So let's say you're getting into a gunfight with somebody that's challenging this front area. You can even use this as a way to like ego challenge them, anybody that's going to be playing there. Or even if you get caught here and you're holding an angle, you can just jump. Again, wait a sec before pressing X again. That way you don't mantle like this, and also facing away from the wall helps too. Wait till you're going down and then press X again, and then you'll be able to use any surface pretty much, any flat surface for the most part, to challenge and use the wall jump to your advantage mid gunfight. And again, don't forget that the wall jump isn't based on your momentum. It's strictly based on where you're facing when you hit the wall jump button. So you don't always need to be coming from this direction. Sometimes it'd be safer to jump from lower and then just turn around and bounce up. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to, but once you get it down, and the opportunities are truly like endless from a movement perspective. Don't forget to chain your wall jumps as well. And there's a bunch of crazy ways to continue challenging the same area. I mean, look at that. That is nuts. If somebody's back there and they just catch you jumping over, like, that is an insane way to go up top, because the entire time you're just hard aiming where they're coming from pretty much a head glitch. Like, and this is just one tiny example of like all the opportunities that will be in this game. Even something like this situationally is going to be nuts. There's a very common choke point for this map, at least so far in the beta. You just hop up here and then jump. You're shooting down on them. Like, from their perspective, they think that they have a good head glitch right here, and you're just gonna fly. You're just gonna fly up over this and be able to challenge them from this. I actually can't wait to start using movement mechanics like this. And if you're trying to challenge even further, like, I mean, just try. Even smaller obstacles like these poles, you can even wall jump off of them too. I mean, this is freaking crazy. And that's my early movement tutorial for Black Ops 7. I hope this helped you out. If it did, let me know with a like or a sub. And I'll catch you next time at lunchtime.